Hey, good morning. Sunday mornings are always lovely at Chabad. They're busy. We start with Minyan and Shukashuka in the morning, and we study a little bit. Then there's Hebrew school inside. And now when the weather is beautiful, here's the Bat Mitzvah girls studying with money. And they are learning what it means to be proper, proud Jew, nurturing them and educating them inside, outside, upstairs, downstairs, adults, children. Sundays are an amazing morning. And, you know, being such a busy morning, on a Sunday morning, we always have our awesome security guard. Say hi to JD.
Good morning.
It's a sad reality that you need to have a security guard
Yes.
to watch us, but when we saw what happened last night in Buffalo, pure hate and evil, gunning down and killing 10 innocent people, we're reminded about the heroics of these young guys, these brave people who stand there armed out of our schools, outside our community centers to protect us and make sure that everyone's safe, right? Especially the kids.
That's right, absolutely.
JD's here when we have programs on Shabbos, on Sunday, and any other program there is. But you know, I don't know if you guys, we all know the guy who comes, you know, to the bank at 5:01 and he's banging on the door looking to make a deposit. You need to withdraw cash today, not tomorrow. He's the one who's late to the train, always misses it by 5 minutes, or he comes late to every program we do. The guy who never comes on time. But this week's Torah portion, today, is a very special day. It's called Pesach Sheni. And we learn that when you miss the train, actually, there's another train not far behind. And that when you miss your time at the bank, there's always another opportunity. What's Pesach Sheni? Pesach Sheni is called the second Pesach. A month after the first Passover, which we all celebrated, there's a second day. Why was there a second day? It takes us back to the time of the Bible with Moses in the desert, when the Jews who were impure and they couldn't be part of the Paschal sacrifice, but they wanted to be part of Passover. So they came crying to Moses, Lamani Gara, why should we be different? Why don't we have the opportunity to have Passover just like everyone else? Just because we were impure, it wasn't even our fault. And Moses goes to ask God, and God says, you know what, there's going to be a second Pesach. The second Pesach is going to be a month after the first, to give all those who missed the train, all those who, so to speak, as the term goes, missed the boat, will be able to have a second opportunity and be able to have the Paschal sacrifice. And that's why today we eat matzah. But the question, of course, is, listen, you have Rosh Hashanah, you have Shavuot, you have Yom Kippur, you have Sukkot. We don't get a second chance. Why is there a second chance when it comes to Passover? And what's the message that it sends us? And the Rebbe teaches us something very powerful. He says, what happened by Passover that didn't happen by the other holidays? The Jewish people came and they cried out to Moses. They said, listen, we want another opportunity. So Moses turns to God and God says, I'll give them an opportunity. It's the only holiday that doesn't come from God to the Jewish people in direction to Moses, but it's vice versa. The Jewish people cry out that they want the holiday. And therefore God gives it to them. When it came to Rosh Hashanah, when it came to Sukkot, when it came to Shavuot, they didn't ask. And the message that Rebbe says is that we have to be the ones to cry out and to understand and to want, to know that it's never too late. There's always an opportunity. You always say you can't cry over spilled milk. Yes, you could cry over spilled milk, and you can rectify it, and you can make it better. And that's why Pesach Sheni is not just about the day. It's the message it sends in Judaism, that there always is a second chance. There's a chance to correct. There's a chance to fix. There's a chance to become better. You know, people always tell me, Rabbi, if only I was younger, I would spend time in yeshiva, I would study. If only I knew how to put on tefillin earlier, or keep Shabbos, or go to shul. But now I'm older, now I'm this. You know, in life we say, there's always the regrets you have. And when you want to get something done, you never go to a guy who doesn't have time. You go to a guy who's busy. Never to a person who's just sitting around and saying, oh, if only. The message is, listen, don't cry. Do something. Speak up. Take the opportunities you have. Take the gifts that you are able to have and become a better person. Learn. Educate yourself. Nurture. You know, yesterday in shul, I told them this story about the Baba of a Rebbe. The Baba of a Rebbe lost his father in the Holocaust, his wife, two of his children, terrible tragedy. And then he escaped and made it to America after the war. And he started a shul in Manhattan. And they found this guy who was a survivor himself, who became the chazan. He had a beautiful voice, but they knew nothing about him. He'd come every week, they'd pay him a little bit, and he was the chazan. One week he didn't show up, and the rabbi asked someone to go look out. And one of the chassidim comes back and he says, "Rabbi, you won't believe what I saw. I saw this guy, and he was smoking on the bench on Shabbos. Now, Shabbos is forbidden to smoke, and he's the chazan." The rabbi, the Baba of the Rebbe, looks at his disciple and he says, "Bring him here. It's not him that's smoking. It's the Nazis that are smoking." Basically what he was saying was, listen, look at what he had. Look what he went through. It's not really who he is. Bring him. Let him be the chazan. So he came back. He was the chazan for another couple of years till he got a better job. And then he parted his ways. Years later, the Baba of the Rebbe is making a wedding in New York. And it was a tremendous celebration for the community, because here you had the Baba of the Rebbe who was celebrating survival. He lost his whole family in the Holocaust, and he rebuilt a huge family, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, community members, and everyone was there to celebrate this remarkable moment. And as the Rebbe's dancing, and every time he danced, the people lifted up with joy, with happiness. Comes over a Jew to the Rebbe's secretary, says, "I want to meet the Rebbe." He's an old man, hunched over. And he comes over to the Rebbe and he says, "Do you know who I am?" And the Rebbe says, "I don't remember." He says, "I was your chazan. Ooh, right when you started your shul, after the war in Manhattan, I was your chazan. And today, I'm an observant Jew. I have grandchildren, children, over 100, enumerating between my children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren." And the Rebbe turns to his son, who was there. He says, "You see, I was right when I said it wasn't him smoking." There's always a chance for a second chance to rebuild, to be able to reconnect with our Judaism, to be able to perfect the things that we didn't know, we weren't taught. So I encourage us all to have that courage, to have that strength, to be like the Jews in the desert, and to say, "Lama nigara," why should I miss out? Just because I didn't do it, I shouldn't get a second opportunity? Because only those who say that, and only those who search that, and only those who yearn for a second opportunity, those are the ones that get it. You don't have it by Rosh Hashanah. You don't have it by Sukkot. You don't have it by Shavuot. You have it by Pesach. You know why? Because by Passover, the Jews cried out. They wanted a second chance to perfect that which wasn't perfect, and they got it. And they got it in a way where they were able to replicate and make it even better. God bless you. Always remember, there's the opportunity to become better, to change, and to get a second chance in everything in life. Go enjoy your matzah and have a great day.